Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. And today, just like the title implies, I finally got my smurf on the European server to Masters. And we did it using Gwen Aphelios. You heard that right, Gwen Aphelios. And we got this idea from watching 4LW. And then WhatAmI gave us his deck code in one of our streams. And the deck has actually been doing really well. It's a really cool deck. So the idea is that you pretty much just playing the Shadow Owls and Targon package and just playing for like more like an invoke deck, right? More like an invoke deck, using the Halo package as a way to either make your big invoke elusives better, or also synergize with the fact that you can get overwhelmed through Aphelios or other elusives like the 3-cost elusive that's a Celestial as well, and so doing a lot of damage. So there's different ways that this deck can win, just like any Targon deck. It's really just value. And I think the deck is actually really good in the meta because he has a really good win rate against like Monkeys, for example, which are one of the most popular decks in the meta right now. And he can do very well against Kai'Sa because we have access to Vengeance, which ends up just being able to kill Kai'Sa in turn 1. We can even get Fallen Comets if we need to, and we just try to not run out of value. Now, let's talk about what's in this deck. And again, this list was given to me with WhatAmI. We really didn't tweak that much stuff. I think all I did is that I added a whale just because we're starting to see a lot of Monkeys. But I think from what I saw, WhatAmI also was playing well in his most recent version of the list. So it makes sense, right? One whale can just punish the Pandemonium turn, just kill all the Monkeys and heals you for 3. It's literally just there for that matchup. But the rest of the deck is going to be pretty straightforward, right? So you do have the Halo package. So we're playing 3 Hoes, 1 Butler, and double Conductor, and obviously triple Gwen, but we'll talk about Gwen a little bit more in a second. And this is just there to get Halo buffs down in our graveyard. The Conductor especially kind of ends up giving us 2 because of the Ghastly Ban. So it ends up adding up over time, making your big elusives later on that you get from Trifecta or from Star Shaping just push so much more damage. We are playing 2 Lunar. It does bring it to synergies of Aphelios, 2 Spaces Catchers just for more invoke value there, because we have a lot of discard fodder between the gems and the dust petals. 3 Mountain goes for those gems that we just talked about to be able to discard with the Spaces Catcher, triple Battle Feast. Just really good value. Triple Aphelios is one of our heart and souls of this deck. You can get so much value with Aphelios with all his moon weapons to just stay in the game until you're able to get to your win condition, right? This deck is playing a late game kind of win condition. So Aphelios lets you kind of stall until you get to that point. Double Hush to kind of hit Kai'Sa in this meta and other, you know, random spell shield units. And it can also hush like the Illaoi matchup. It can hush the Tentacle all the way down to be a 1/1. To Priestess for just a lot of value. I like all the 4, 5, and 6 Celestial cards. Blinded Mystic, really good against Tentacles, for example. Can be really good against Void Abomination because it goes through Spell Shield. So even if the Void Abomination from Kai'Sa drops down, you can just stop it. Triple Gwen, just really good value. You're able to heal you up. Just has quick attack, starts pushing a lot of damage, and with the Halos, it starts just adding up over time. So Gwen just ends up being just a really solid champion that just gets you value and gets you heal and keeps you healthy. 1 Star Shaping for the healing, 1 Whale I talked about for the Monkey matchup, triple Trifecta. So this deck doesn't have a lot of draw, right? We're not playing Pale Cascade, we're not playing Guiding Touch. So you do tend to run out of resources really early unless you draw into your Aphelios or your other Celestials. And Trifecta lets you kind of get back in the game, right? So there's a lot of times where you might look like you only have 1 card in your hand, and then you play Trifecta, and now all of a sudden you have 3 cards, potentially even more if you end up drawing the 10-cost spell, right? So Trifecta is there so that this deck doesn't run out of value. Triple Vengeance really there for the meta calls, so Kai'Sa, Illaoi, etc. 2 Atrocities is one of our big finishers, quite a bit underrated. With this deck especially, remember, you are playing for your big invokes, right? So your big elusive invokes, some of them have spell shields, some of them are just, you know, just really big units. Have that combined with the Halo buffs, you're able to push a lot of damage and then be able to Atrocity to finish up the game. Atrocity is one of our main win conditions, and I would not cut this card from this deck whatsoever. And then lastly, 2 Ruination. And again, 2 Ruination is more to be able to kill those big board states with Bard, Illaoi, or with Kai'Sa, where you might be a little bit low in value and you need to just get rid of the units right away. So Ruination ends up being really good in this meta as well. Again, 4LW was winning a lot of tournaments with this deck and other Shadow Owl decks just because of how good Vengeance and Ruination are both into the meta. So I wouldn't cut any of this. I wouldn't cut any of the high expensive spells right here. The little units, you might be able to play around with them a little bit, but I would not touch the triple trifecta, triple vengeance, 2 atrocity, 2 ruination core. I feel like that's the core of this deck that makes this deck work, and you can get there and be able to win games that way. So I hope you enjoyed the games coming up soon. Another deck that we get to Masters with. If you guys don't know, I do keep a whole sheet of every single deck that I have ever hit Masters with since I started playing this game 2.5 years ago. I'll link that below in the description below, so if you're curious, you can go down memory lane and see all the decks that we have reached Masters with since we started playing this game in 2020. So yeah, really fun stuff that I like to keep track of. As always, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. I'll see you all at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. In this matchup, we'll be going up against monkeys. We have a lot of heal though, right? We have whales, we have Aphelios, we have Gwen. I'm gonna see if I can find that whale though. Host is really good, gives me a blocker for turn 1. Aphelios is good against Teemo. We don't play anything. If the opponent... They always have Teemo, huh? They always have Teemo on turn 1. Oh, that's gross. Because I didn't want to spend the battle piece right now, but I might have to. Might have to spend the battle piece right now. This unit dies a lot. This unit dies a lot to like if we summon the Phantom Butler, we do still make it rain, right? So it doesn't make sense to do that. I mean, if he wants to do the make it rain right there, that's okay. Pokey stick? Okay. Let's do the battle right now. Let's do the battle right now. Gives us a blocker for next turn. We might have to have the Gwen for turn 4. Gwen being around helps a lot as well because she's always draining. Opponent hasn't triggered any plunder, by the way, and already used the Teemo. Already lost the Teemo as well. If we get Golden Sisters here, I think that's game, right? Let's go Traveler. Let's go Traveler. I feel like Traveler's gonna be some good value here. We can go Gwen and just start working on the level of Gwen. Opponent shouldn't have a way to stop this Gwen with their deck. Unless they run... No, that's not true. They run the Sirturmund, right? They run the Riptide Sirturmund. So they could have the Riptide Sirturmund here, and that would be the way to punish the Gwen. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they have it. So we get to just attack here and heal back up that 2 damage that the opponent has done. And Gwen starts working on her level up. Make it rain now. Pokey stick, okay. At least it wasn't Swindle. Swindle would have been a lot more annoying to deal with. Now, the problem here is that we definitely don't want to block with Gwen next turn because he loses to a Make It Rain or a Pokey stick. So ideally, I want to summon the Traveler, right? We don't have mana for Vengeance or anything like that. Nah. Yeah, let's go Traveler. Meteor Shower, not bad. Scourge, I feel, is gonna be a little bit late against this deck, so I kind of like the Meteor Shower. Gives me removal for a Twisted Fate just in case. Right? Opponent got to nab me twice, and yeah, Twisted Fate has the potential to level up. So I definitely want to be able to just block that Twisted Fate. Oh, I mean, kill that Twisted Fate. Sorry.
Is this what you seek?
The only downside here is that we cannot attack. Okay, so this is 5. Is there a way for Twisted Fate to level up right here? Oh, wow, that's another great draw. So this is 5. So anything else that we do, though, is going to just... I think I like the Phantom Butler, right? Because the Phantom Butler, opponent will have to literally hit the Make It Rain perfectly. I guess he could have a Parley. And it still lets me level up Gwen right here. So I still get to level up Gwen right here. And heal back up. I want him to commit more cards on trying to level up Twisted Fate before we go for the Twisted Fate kill, right? I want him to think that he has a chance of actually leveling up this Twisted Fate. Remember, the moment that we get Whale, we're also in a very good spot. Opponent's already down to 8 HP versus a deck that also runs Atrocity. Monkey business, okay. Am I scared? I think we still pass. I think I'd rather not give him the board space just yet if we don't have to. Okay, well, now that he did that, I mean, he still cannot level Twisted Fate, right? Next turn he has sits. I guess he could have a second Twisted Fate, right? So I think we can do the GOAT. This makes their make it rain even worse. Taskmaster, okay. We're in a good spot, right? Because the downside with that deck is that they need to have the board space, right? They need to have the board space to be able to actually play the Pandemonium. As long as we stop them from having that board space, they're never really beating us, right? Actually, I guess let's just trade everything off, right? But if I do this, I'm giving them the board space, right? If I do this, I'm giving them the board space, and then they can potentially win with a big Pandemonium. We do have access to the star shaping though, and now we also have Aphelios. So it might not be a big deal. Especially because we're gonna heal so much with Gwen. So we can go right here with the Severum into the Infernum on the Gwen. And just win that way. Now the downside here is Meteor Shower. He could get the Meteor Shower, or he could get the Vengeance or the Ruination. Either one of those are really troublesome for us. If he got the Vengeance, he needs to do it right now. If it's the Meteor Shower, it's a little bit more annoying. The Meteor Shower actually loses to the Star Shaping.
I see the heavens aflame, gods burning in starfire.
So he got that from my deck. Do we ever play around the Ruination? Do we ever play around the Ruination? What if we play around the Vengeance? So I'm not going to play around the Ruination, but I'm going to play around the Vengeance. I'm going to play around the Vengeance by putting this on the Aphelios instead of the Gwen. That way opponent has to choose which one to Vengeance right here, right? Sure. He has to choose which one to Vengeance. Pandemonium doesn't kill us just yet, because now he also taps out, right? So, like, I don't think the opponent wins anymore, because he just tapped out of everything. We even get the the elusive here. This is 5. Yeah, this is game then. I mean, because the elusive will get us there. The Gwen heals us up. This gets overwhelmed. The Gwen lifesteal happens before the monkeys die. Opponent's Vengeance, unless they drew our last Vengeance, they shouldn't have a way to stop this. And there we go. That's game. Between the Aphelios, the Gwen, and the elusive, even if the opponent has one Vengeance, they're still not able to beat us, right? Because they have three different threats. Because we were going to buff up the elusive with the Hallow Boss that we have in the graveyard. Obviously, the Aphelios have Overwhelm, and the Gwen just has a regular skill, which does a lot of damage too. So, GG's. So, in this matchup, we'll be going up against Ezreal Caitlyn. We are a Shadow Isles Targon deck, so I do feel like we're going to run them out on value. But I could also see how this could be problematic. I like keeping the Trifecta. I feel like if we keep the Trifecta, we put ourselves in a really good spot to not run out of value. And I like the Mountain God as an early blocker. Oh, okay. Well, we ended up getting the host, so we didn't even need the Mountain God as an early blocker. I think the host is better. The host slightly better. I like the host slightly better because if he dies right away, it means that for the rest of the game, all our units are going to be one more attack, right? Which ends up being really good. I want to do this before House Party comes in. Peacemaker. Wow. Okay. I guess I should have gone with the Mountain Goat. Caitlyn here will be annoying though. Yeah, Caitlyn here is kind of annoying. Okay, now Caitlyn, I'm going to do my Priestess. I like the Reading in the Stars. I like the Reading in the Stars so that we can go into Aphelios. Second build of Peacemaker. It's gonna be a big Tri-Beam. That's gonna be a big Tri-Beam, guys. Very big Tri-Beam that we're gonna have to worry about later. Ooh, it hits both of them there. I'm okay getting the Flash Pumps out early though. I'm kind of okay getting the flash runs down early. I don't want to die to a static shot. That's why I didn't want to commit any one of my other units. One trifecta goes bye-bye. I think I'm fine with that, no? I think I might be okay with that. I'm trying to debate here if I need to just... if I'm okay losing to the static. Because the downside here is that if we get hit by another flash run, the opponent gets open for 2. And that could be a little bit scary, right? Yeah, we didn't get hit by the flash bomb. Opponent plays it nice on us. Let's go ahead and just draw our champion right now. We get rid of the flash bomb. That's kind of nice. Fortunately, we got the wrong champion, right? That is not the one that we wanted. That is not the one that we wanted. And he drew from the top of our deck as well because we got hit by that flash bomb. 3 sits. If opponent has their stun and flock stuff here, I think I'm okay taking it right now. I think I'm okay doing this right now, right? We get access to the Hallow buff. Yeah, so they're gonna go for the stun here. Is he still hitting them for 3 if the opponent doesn't block? They're obviously gonna block, makes sense. And we might be okay doing trifecta here. 3, 6, 7. If we do trifecta, third Piltover with Peacemaker. Alright. I think this is a trifecta turn. 3, 6. If we do trifecta, we go down to 9. Kind of like the spell shield. I kind of like the spell shield. It could be a big threat, but I also feel like we're kind of running a little bit out of value. Okay, well, we get more value here. Meteor Shot was really good though. Meteor Shot was so good because it can hit Ezreal and Caitlyn. Wow. We have a Vengeance, right? So maybe we just want to go for Aphelios. Living Legends for the long term. Let's go Living Legends for the long term. We're going for a lot of value here. We just went full value. Ah, we didn't hit the flash ones. I was hoping I hit the flash ones before I play the messenger. Okay, opponent makes it easy for us. I guess we're gonna go ahead and do the messenger first. We lose the Living Legends and we also lose the Hush. So we lose the Living Legends and we also lose the Hush because the opponent obviously got value there. I think I have to be okay with that though. It does suck because we talked about we kind of did want that value. We could go for the Moonglow now for our next champion, but at this point opponent has a really big Tribeam. So opponent has a really big Tribeam, which kind of scares me. So maybe we go for Gwen first, so that we bait out the Tribeam on the Gwen. And once the opponent does the Tribeam on the Gwen, we can actually go ahead and summon Aphelios. Doesn't do it. We'll have the second flock right here, which could be really annoying to deal with. Like I need to bait them out. I need to bait them into doing that Tribeam. I want to bait them into doing that Tribeam. The more damage it takes, the better it is for us. Because remember, we are an Atrocity deck, right? Okay, maybe if they tap out a Tribeam here, we might just summon the Aphelios. Yeah, so they're getting another flock. So we know they're getting another flock now. Let's go ahead and summon this Aphelios while we have the chance. Before the opponent summons their Tribeam. We could Moonglow him right now. Only we need to have... Yeah, I think we're gonna Moonglow him right now. I want to force the opponent to have to commit 2 spells to kill this. Now the downside here is that we could get hit by a Flash Bomb. Okay, there we go. I'm completely fine with this. So now he commits both Mystic Shots. We know that he's drawing a flock sometime. We still have another rating in the starts. We have Vengeance for potential Ezreal as soon as he comes down. We get another Priestess. Unfortunately, we don't have a blocker here, so we're gonna get hit by 8. So we're gonna have to vengeance that, right? We're gonna have to vengeance that. We might have to go for Traveler now at this point. See if we can draw a way to win the game. Because this is gonna be 5 and this is gonna be 8, so we're gonna be at 4. We're gonna be at 4. This is not looking great, actually. We might have to lifesteal. We might have to lifesteal. I think the lifesteal is gonna be correct. I'm not gonna play around the tribing anymore. Opponent could have drawn the flock that we know he's gonna have. So now we just lose to Ezreal. Ay, ay, ay. We gotta just pretend he doesn't have the stun. So we gotta pretend that he doesn't have the stun, right? We gotta pretend that he doesn't have the stun to stop this lifesteal. Of course they do. I don't think I could have done anything about it though. We could hush the Ezreal on the next turn before he gets any value. Yeah, Decimate does 5. The second Decimate does another 5. And there goes some of our value that we had. Moonglow could be good to protect this guy. That's his 3rd sentry. If we attack right now, technically we're forcing the opponent to block, but they still kill us, by the way, because it's going to be 5. I mean, I might as well do this, right? Might as well do this now, because opponent doesn't really have a good block. Like, if we leave this behind, okay. We don't really have a good blocker, right? The opponent should just open attack here. Oh, that's a huge draw. Woo! That's a huge draw. So that counters one of his decimates. The downside is that we know that the opponent is going to get a flock, right? The downside is that we know that the opponent is going to have a flock. So if we block like this, we kill the Ezreal, but our guy here is going to be vulnerable to a flock now. We're able to heal back up, and then all we need to do is find the big Celestial to win the game. There's no way for us to save Aphelios, so I think we just go for it this way. Inferno was also the wrong one to go for, by the way. You had to always pre-send them. Yeah, because he's the flock that we know he's going to draw like all these turns ago. But I need to keep enough mana to be able to do the star shaping, right? Because the gem wasn't going to be enough to actually give us what we needed. And then we're going to heal right now. So we negate that. Whew. Supernova is enough, technically. I mean, sorry, the Scourge is enough. But it gets punished by another stun. Or Scorch Surf or anything like that. Alright, I guess we're just going to hope that he doesn't have it. We just gotta hope that he doesn't have it. It had to be the other ones, right? The elusives or even the Overwhelm, right? We just gotta hope he doesn't have any way to stop this. He doesn't have another sentry, doesn't have a big Tri-Beam, doesn't have like a Scorched Earth, doesn't have the lethal just directly, right? Because remember, we also have the Halo buff, so this is dealing 17. Hellstones? Is that enough? Yes, it is, because he can convert this. He can convert this into one of his units. Yep. So he can convert this into one of his units, and that should be enough. I'm gonna go ahead and still attack. And then he can just flock it, right? Static. So we can bio. We can bio. And then what? Still take 2, and if opponent has another Mystic, we lose the game. So we can buy. I guess it has to be more than Mystic, right? He could also flock his own unit. Maybe it was safer to go for the... Yeah, he can also do that. Maybe it was safer to go for something else here. Golden Sisters is a really good pick. But if the opponent has Ezreal or anything else that deals 2 damage, another mistake or another way to hit face, then we lose the game. So this could get to 5 plus 2, 7. That's stealing 4. Shouldn't be enough still, right? Let's go host so that we can go wide, I guess. Okay, yeah, if the opponent literally has anything else here, we lose the game. Gwen is really good. I want to have Atrocity mana, but we can also do the Golden Sisters. So yeah, we're just gonna do Golden Sisters. Still leaves us with Atrocity mana. If opponent has any way to stop this, they win. We can go ahead for the lethal with the elusive into Atrocity. They need to have a way to stop this. They already used all their sentries. This gives us back to 6, which keeps us safe. Do we commit the Atrocity right now? Maybe we don't. Maybe we just play safe. Maybe we just go... Maybe we just go here first. And then we can commit the Atrocity after, once she has Spell Shield. I'm okay with that. Opponent is very low in resources, and we have our Atrocity play now, right? Let's go ahead and summon Gwen, just in case. Could have healed more if we just summon Gwen, but I was trying to play around some random stuff, right? Tri-beam, yeah, like that Tri-beam. Tri-beam would have been really bad for us. Oh, that's a good draw for them. That's a very good one for them, but it's okay. Atrocity finishes the game because opponent only has 1 card, and there's nothing for 1 card that can stop this Atrocity. So it should be it. We got lucky. We played around Tri-beam early in the game, and it looks like they drew the Tri-beam pretty late. So he ended up working out for us. No reason to slow roll him. We could just Atrocity right now. Let's show him the one that we had this whole time. I think it was safe. I think it was safe to put the Spell Shield on her, because their deck has a hard time dealing with Spell Shield, right? So I think it was safer to do it that way and then wait for the Atrocity this turn. We were not in any rush, especially once that heal from the Golden Sister went through. So GG's. We're going up against Akshan Kai'Sa. So when you're playing Shadow Isles, you really want to have access to Vengeance to be able to kill a Kai'Sa as soon as she comes down. So I think that's what we're going to try to do. The Blinded Mystic is going to be really good later in the game against the Blood Abomination. We probably don't want to draw it this early. I think I'm okay keeping Aphelios. I'm okay keeping the host early on. This is good for Valor. Second host is not as good. So this is going to be a long game, right? We don't get the Vengeance. It's a consideration that I should hard mulligan for Vengeance. But it feels really bad kicking Aphelios and also kicking a 1-drop right off the bat. But maybe that is what I needed to do, right? Because Vengeance is just so critical in making sure that you get the Kai'Sa out of the way as soon as possible. Without the Vengeance, I feel like this matchup is going to be like 100% harder, right? We could also join to the... we could also join to this... the Priestess, right? The Priestess could be decent. Don't think I want to even summon Aphelios just yet, to be honest. I think I'm just going to go here. If the opponent doesn't want to block this, then he's taking 4. If he blocks here, he's still taking 4. And then this is vulnerable to anything else later on. Yeah, sure. I'm okay with that. Opponent's already at 14th. Remember, we are an Atrocity deck, right? So if the opponent gets greedy, they could get punished. And the boy Blasted doesn't really get to do a lot, right? I mean, because here we can just go another host. We can go Aphelios and start working with Aphelios here. Sure. Now, we do get punished by... We get punished by the Sharpshire, right? Opponent doesn't go for the sharp side, so it's okay with us. We can go ahead and do Crescendum first. We can go into the Calibrum. At this point, I just want to get as many things as possible. Opponent could level up their Kai'Sa right away, by the way. Because they could do like Supercharge. No, actually, Supercharge doesn't do it because it already counted the Overwhelm. So Supercharge plus Kai'Sa only gets into 5 out of 6. That's a really good hit because of the Halo that we have in the graveyard. Remember that we also have the Calibrum after the fact too. So we also have a Calibrum, which means that anything that the opponent summons potentially just dies to that Calibrum. At this point, we just want to put as much damage as possible. I don't want to do the Battle Feast because the opponent could have access to the Radiant Guardian. I think that could be a little bit problematic. So maybe we go for... Okay, so he's just going to go straight up for the Kai'Sa. So we're going to go straight up for the Kai'Sa. If that's the case, do we still go for the Spacey Sketchup? Sure. There is a chance that we draw into the Crescent Strike. Is it actually Crescent Strike though? Because if we do Crescent Strike, we cannot use our Calibrum. But if it's Crescent Strike, we're pushing a lot of damage. Opponent could have access to Cataclysm here to kill our Aphelios, for example. If it's not Crescent Strike, then what are we gonna do? Serpent? Serpent Calibrum? And kill the Void Blaster? That's also not bad. Honestly, that's also not bad. So we can Calibrum the Void Blaster and then kill it with the Serpent, right? And then have Battle Feast if the opponent blocks any of our 3 drops with Kai'Sa, any of our 3 attack units with Kai'Sa. But then we'll have to have a sharp side. So we're gonna go here first. Opponent sees that we have the Calibrum, so that makes them less likely to be able to summon anything. We're always pulling that way. Now remember, we also have 1 Halo. So we have 1 Halo. We want to actually... I think I want to spread out my damage. I want to go like this. The downside is that that's the only good trade that the opponent gets, right? So I was thinking about going like this. I could go for the Fearsome. Opponent can kill our Aphelios, so... Or we could just go for Aphelios here. That way opponent cannot actually kill it. But then that means that opponent could block this one with the Kai'Sa. And I kind of don't want them blocking that one with the Kai'Sa. So I think I am going to go like this. I think I'm going to go like this and spread everything out. He can block here. But again, he's going to lose to the sharp side if he does. To the Battle Feast if he does that, right? Still goes down to 6. So then all we need to do is draw... All we need to do is just draw Atrocity and we win the game. Opponent needs to have exactly sharp side for this to matter. And we still have a pretty wide board and can go can even get the Celestial here to finish it up. So let's go with the Calibrum here first. And let's see if he has the sharp side. And if he has the sharp side, I would like him to use it here first. And there we go. Now he gets punished by the Battle Feast, unless he also has a Ranger's Resolve. And if they have a Ranger's Resolve, it's probably better for us to have done the Calibrum afterwards. And there we go. Just like that, we were able to get rid of the first Kai'Sa and still keep the opponent at 6 HP. Now, they could have the second Kai'Sa here. That's always a consideration. There is a mistake by them, by the way. Because he just gets another Halo in our graveyard. Oh no, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to do the Radiant Guardian. Well, we could let it go, right? Because we had access to the Blind Domestic. Yeah, we could let that go. We have access to the Blind Domestic. So it would have been okay. You know what? Let's do it now. Opponent's gonna think, oh, now he's gonna let me do Radiant Guardian anyways. And then we're gonna do the Blind Domestic. And we're gonna go here. And now we attack wider. Opponent still doesn't have any lifesteal, and that should still be game. We have double Halo buffs in the graveyard, so we can once again spread our damage in such a way that we can just beat the opponent. And they don't, I mean, I guess they could have Concerted Strike and single combat, but that still sits, right? But they will have to kill one of the 3 drops, and I don't think they have them. So I think I should have blocked the Void Blaster, right? Just killed it. There's no reason not to. We are taking less damage. We had the Blinding Mystic for the Radiant Guardian. I almost forgot about that. We had that in our hand, but it ended up working out anyway, so GG's. Here we'll be going up against Bard Zed. Anything that's like with Bard that brings a bunch of stats and then elusives ends up being pretty bad for us. We do have the Dustbringer, which can be really good. I'm gonna kick the Species Catcher for now, because I'd rather have stuff like this, like Biofeast, or just in general just blockers, so that we can block the Zed, right? Again though, the elusives are very scary. The elusives are very scary. We don't need to attack right here, because we can always Biofeast if we wanted to. Oh my goodness. Sure, I'm gonna just calibrate on that. Yeah, we just block this one here. Opponent gets buff out of it though, but I need to be able to keep the 2 mana so that I can calibrate this. Now the problem is that we lose to the Zed, but the fact that the opponent decided to buff up the Esmos instead of a Zed tells me that they maybe don't have the Zed on them. So I gotta pretend that doesn't have a Zed. If they do, then we're just gonna get hit by 6 damage or potentially 8 because the opponent just hit a Shine with the Esmos. Okay, so they hit it on they hit it there, so that makes it better. So we know that they don't have the Shine on the Zed. Let's go ahead and do the Caliburn right here. Let's just get rid of this Esmos right off the bat. If I can get rid of their elusives throughout the whole game, we might be okay. We might be okay. We can block with the post. Oh, really? We caught a unit with less power than me. So you're letting me replay... So you're letting me replay my Aphelios next time. Interesting. Not sure if I agree with that. We can just Mountain go now and the opponent cannot attack with the Maker. I'm not gonna block with the Spider. I think I can just Caliburn that guy later. So now we can just play Aphelios. I guess the only downside is that we don't have the mana to actually be able to kill with Aphelios. So maybe we just do the host, gives us a blocker, and then we can do... I wish I had my Vengeance. Still like Caliburn to begin with, right? Because any elusive that the opponent summons, we can always kill. We have a blocker here. We have a blocker for the bar. Well, it's not bad. Yeah, so like this, we can always Caliburn her. We can cycle into Graviton and start working on our Aphelios. Opponent could have twinned right here. But is that a big deal for us? I don't think it is. We're only taking 3 from that, right? Because opponent needs to attack with her right now, otherwise we can always just perma-stun her. I guess we can also just kill her again. We could also just kill her again. So we have a blocker here, blocker there. I'm thinking if it's better to just try to kill her again with the second Aphelios weapon. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. That way we don't take that damage. We still have the Graviton for next turn. Aphelios gonna level up next turn as well. So what does he do right here? Esmos? Sure. Esmos is kind of scary. We should also put the gem on the Spiderling. Okay, he didn't see the line. He didn't see the line. Opponent needed to just buff up the Mentor. So opponent's down to just a single card. The problem is that his bar is gonna start leveling up. We don't have access to Vengeance just yet. And opponent gets to level up the bar. So we don't have access to the Vengeance just yet. Opponent gets to level up the bar. We do have blockers for like days though, which is kind of nice. We can do the Graviton right here on the Esmos. Bar levels up. I mean, sorry, Aphelios levels up, so we start getting some value here. We can have blockers for forever. We actually messed up the order, by the way. We had to do the Graviton first. So we have to go like this now, just so that we get a Crescendo. And now we won't be able to cycle all the way to Graviton, so we can't stun that Zed. But we do have plenty of blockers for Zed anyways. Oh, that's a good... Yeah, we have plenty of blockers for Zed. Remember that we have 1 Halo Depth, so we can actually attack with Aphelios. Obviously, the danger attacking with Aphelios is that then we lose to a potential twin. But if the opponent commits their twin right here, I think I'm okay with that as well. So I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, that starts pushing some damage here because of the Halo. We're gonna have 2 more Halos here, and we can always cycle for the Overworm later on. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a way to kill Bard. I think if we can kill the Bard, opponent shouldn't have a way to win this game anymore. Because Bard is the only reason. Bard is the only reason that his units can even get big enough, right? Now we do need to be careful here that we don't just lose to an elusive. We do have the Calibrum, so opponent cannot really commit any value. Let's go ahead and just get rid of our Halo stuff. And let's go ahead and just kill this guy. I don't want his units to get big enough that it's going to be a problem for us. So here we can just Calibrum this, just get blockers out of the way. We can cycle into Graviton. That's okay. Because I want to stun this anyways, right? Sure. Yeah, I want to stun this anyways. I lose the value from getting another weapon, but I think I'm always stunning this regardless. And then going into the Overwhelm, right? We still have plenty of blockers for the Zed. This is also forcing the opponent to have to block with the Zed at some point. So we get the Mountain Goat, we have the Withering Whale. I guess opponent could have the Recall right here. And that's probably a reason not to attack with everything. Yeah, there you go. If we go here, right? So we go here, attack with everything. This one goes first. That will give us access to the Halo buff. So this is getting 6, but we have to trade the whole board regardless. At this point, we have the Aphelios, so I wanna have them trade as many cards as they have, right? Like if they keep trading cards with us, that's actually it's been good for us. The Tailstones could be a little bit annoying to deal with because it gives him barrier. Oh, okay, well, but opponent, you just gave us Aphelios right back. So now we can still grab it on your maker because the weapon costs 0 mana. So now we can grab it on your maker and get the value for next turn. And all your units still cannot block my units. And again, we have to put the Go first because he has access to the Halo buff. That way we just attack with everything. And opponent doesn't have any favorable blocks unless they have access to a twin, right? But they didn't have it earlier, so I'm going to assume that they don't have it this time around either. Cool, so this is dealing 9. Opponent has Zed. Zed is like baby at this point, right? So it's not a big deal. We can always just block with the prey. And we just start slowly just building up our board one more time. We can even do the Priestess right here. Yeah, let's start with the Priestess. That's kind of annoying though. That gives him a lot of draw, gives him a lot of value that he didn't have just a second ago. So let's go ahead and do the Priestess. Honestly, I kind of like the Fallen Comet. Because at this point, I feel like because the opponent just drew, I also don't want to lose to like another, like some more value, right? I guess we can do it here, right? We can always just Calibrum this guy. Yeah, we can always just Calibrum this guy. So now we go here. We cycle into Calibrum. Kill the Sailing Thousand Tails. Get another Graviton next turn. We can stun the Maker. I'm saving this for a Bard. We could also Sever him, but the Sever him again gets punished by the Recall. Right? Yeah, opponent's gonna recall right here, and that's okay. That means one less recall for our cards later. Do we just kill this Zed? Honestly, the Zed is not a threat. What if we just what if we just do this? What if we just do this and again just stun next turn? Or we could even open attack. Right? The open attack seems pretty nice to me. Especially now that we have Atrocity. Especially now that we have Atrocity, we have multiple Hollow Deaths on the field. We can attack like this. Opponent doesn't have any good blockers, needs to block with the Esmos and needs to block with the Zed. Otherwise this is lethal, and we have Atrocity as a backup and still have the moon weapons. Opponent just committed a recall not that long ago. Yeah, this is lethal. As long as one of my things goes through. As long as even just one of my things goes through, I'm okay with this. Because again, we're still getting the value right here, right? Opponent just stepped out of I don't want to commit the I don't want to commit the Atrocity usage until I get my weapon, because this is going to be my second one. But I definitely think we're just going to do the weapon right now. Let's see what we get first here. Maybe we get something nice for Crescendum. Because opponent shouldn't have a way to stop this Atrocity. Nuppify is not a thing. I guess opponent could technically have access to... Do we just continue with the value game? No. Even if the opponent has a Tailstones, it doesn't matter. This is lethal. Because the Tailstone only heals in 3, so the health pot only heals in 3. It's never enough. Yeah, this is good. No Homecoming, no Will of Ionia, no Deny. This is the safest time to use Atrocity while the opponent is tapped out of 4 mana. And doesn't really have a way to finish it. So yeah, we always gonna commit it this turn. So GG's. We were almost about to lose some resources, right? Because we're like we only had 2 cards left in our hand. So there we go. GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Monkey, and I think we should be very favorable against Monkey. We play 1 whale, we have multiple battlefields. Ruination is a little bit too greedy, I think. Maybe we want to look for Gwen, I think. Or the host. The host is also very good because he can block everything on turn 1 except for Teemo. Our hand is a little bit low value though. It's a little bit low value. Playing the host when the opponent hasn't played anything is kind of trolling though, because the opponent has access to Make It Rain and Parleys. And even Pokesticks. Aphelios could also win us the game, so we just need to get one of our champions. Aphelios, Gwen. Like, there's plenty of ways that we do well, right? So we have a blocker here for the Taskmaster. Opponent's gonna Swindle. Luckily, we don't have any good things on Swindle except for the Atrocity. Battlefield is probably the worst thing that he could get here. Everything else is not that bad. The Conductor, I guess, is good for them. Gives him more units. So the downside is that we don't know what he got to see, right? So we don't know what the opponent got to see. I think playing the second host is a mistake, by the way, because of the Make It Rain, right? So you always gotta think about the Make It Rain. And I think the Make It Rain is just a little bit too valuable. If we have multiple windups. Oh, Ruination is also not good, right? So Ruination is also not good. I can do the Conductor right here. This opponent probably doesn't have a great way to block this guy. There's no way that we have chosen Atrocity, right? Where's our Gwen? Yeah, that's a good draw. That's a good draw because he can draw us into the one that draws us the champions. He could also draw us into 3 Sisters, which is also really good. Opponent gets to steal one of my cards though, which is kind of scary. None of the ones that we wanted. I think it's gonna be Traveler. We wanted the 3 Sisters, so we wanted the other card. But it's gonna Swindle again? Okay, no, monkey business. Remember, their whole game plan is Pandemonium. So we have Whale, Gwen, Aphelios, all of which are really good. Trifecta? It's not bad. Honestly, Trifecta is not bad. 3, 6... Yeah, this is the turn for us to Trifecta. 3, 6... Oh, wait, but we have a little bit too many cards. 3, 6, 7, 8. If we do this, we still go down up to 10. So I think it's Traveler. I think it's Traveler. It's the reading in the stars that I was talking about. So let's just do it. Yeah, he stole our Phantom Butler. So I don't want to do the reading in the stars in case we get Aphelios. That way we can just play Aphelios right away by activating the Nightfall. Yeah, there we go. So now we have Aphelios on the field activated, meaning that we have access to Severum later on in the game.
The moon rises.
Make it rain? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Make it rain. Let's go ahead and kill the Butler right now while we have the chance. So let's go ahead and just kill that Butler now while we have the chance. We can go back to the Severum later though, right? We don't need to do it right now. Yeah, we don't need to do it right now. It's too early for the Severum. Wow. Do we just attack here? This is 10 damage. This is 10 damage. I don't want him getting another Merkin. Obviously, the downside here is that now he could have Twisted Fate and kill the Aphelios. Or the Double Up. Okay, I forgot that some of them play Double Up. And now we lose our access to the lifesteal that we talked about. Now that he did that, we don't need to play the Host. Opponent still has 2 of our cards, right? One card that we didn't see from Swindle and one card that he just stole with the Market Merkin. And that's one of them right here. Sure, let's do the Host. If he has the second Make It Rain, I'm glad to see that happening right now. Oh, it was just... That's what you stole? That's what you stole. I think that was a bad steal by them. Huh. So now we know that we don't have to worry about Atrocity or anything else. 3, 6, 7, 8. We played this. Trickster is good because we have a lot of things. Reading in the Stars is good for the Gwen or the Aphelios. And we get the Scourge to finish up the game later, I guess. We can go ahead and do this guy, right? Gives us blockers for everything. Opponents at this point, opponent's just trying to. By the way, what the opponent's trying to do at this point is be able to do a big Pandemonium. 3, 6, 7, 8. So we need to draw Aphelios. I think we need to draw Aphelios and go for the Moon Weapon for the heal. Yeah, there we go. We also could have gone for the Overwhelm at this point, to be honest. But if the opponent has a big Pandemonium right here, I want to be able to heal right now. We get punished. Wait, I'm just going to attack now. Because now we can just kill him with Atrocity, right? Now we can just kill him with Atrocity. If the opponent gets greedy. We lost the whale? Wow. That was literally the best one that we needed. Does he have anything? He could have Vengeance, right? He could have the Vengeance, which could kill us. This taps me out of... This taps me out of the... So if I do it this way, this taps me out of the Atrocity. So maybe we just go one Battle Feast and we keep the Atrocity. We go one Battle Feast. We have the lifesteal here to survive. We have a second Battle Feast if we need to. Is that enough? It's not enough to survive, right? Because he just drags all the way at the end. Opponent's messing up if it goes like this, though, right? I guess we have to just do the Battle Feast instead. Man, I can't believe we lose to our own Atrocity now. The opponent drew the second. So if the opponent drew the second Atrocity, we lose to it. Vengeance also puts it in a very bad spot. Swindle. Could get our Atrocity. 3, 6, 7, 8. Has a big chance of getting Atrocity. 3 out of 8. Didn't get it. Second Pandemonium is not enough, right? Because we were able to lifesteal all the way to 8. Second Pandemonium is not enough, and this is winning the game on the open attack because of the elusive. So it's gonna force the opponent, if they nab one of our vengeances or they pick the Atrocity here, they need to do it before we do it. Okay, so we're playing around 3 of our cards. We're playing around all 3 of our cards. So it has to be Vengeance. Could have picked the Ruination here, which makes it very risky to not open attack. Makes it too risky not to open attack, right? What we could have done is that we could have done the Graviton here. Because this is going to be lethal.
Moonlight has illuminated their fate, Aphelios.
Well, he could have one of our units, right? And his cards cost two less. At least the last one. The other one costs 1 less. So he could have enough. He's going to have 13 mana. He could have enough for like double Vengeance, for example, to play around the Atrocity. Wow. So I need to push lethal multiple ways for this to make sense, right? So for me to have done that, I needed to actually... because this is lethal. Opponent needs to react to this. I can't believe this game is close. It's as close as it is. There was a couple of misplays in my part. Okay, he didn't have it. All right, GG's. I can't believe how hard it is to play around every one of our own cards. So there was a couple of misplays in our part. I think we definitely had to just play the second Battle Feast last turn, like we were doing at first, and not try to play like for the Atrocity win condition. Because if we do double Battle Feast and the Lifesteal Weapon, opponent has no way to do it. That was the game that took us to Masters. Not as clean as I thought it would be, but we got there. But man, oh man, I could have played that so much cleaner. I could have played that so much cleaner, because by doing the second Battle Feast, we get rid of one of his monkeys and get a blocker, right? We ended up having to do the Battle Feast anyways to protect the damage, but it ended up working out. We got there. That's all that matters. So, GG's. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. Could have been a little bit cleaner on how we got Masters there in the last game. I mean, you saw the first monkey matchup went a lot better than the second one, just because we kind of ended up doing a few misplays, but you know, whatever. The deck has so much value, and we have so many heals, especially with Aphelios and all the Battle Feasts and stuff like that, that, you know, that matchup just becomes impossible for the monkey player, as you saw there when we finally pulled it off, even through our misplays. You kind of see how the rest of the deck works out, right? You kind of saw some of the other matches that we had to deal with, and how you kind of just out-value the opponent and just kill their units and just slowly grind them down and just finish it with like a big Atrocity in a lot of cases, or a big Celestial in a lot of cases. I was a little bit scared in that Natsu's matchup against Ezreal Caitlyn, where we lost our Tendra, but he ended up working out anyways because they just ran out of value quicker than we did and just kept joining to score shares. But enough about that. It was a lot of fun. This deck is actually very good. Some of you noticed that I was actually using this deck on my main account to climb as well. I'll probably continue playing this, especially as Monkeys has become such a popular deck. I think it does very well into that. So I'll continue playing this deck, and maybe we get to like top 20. I think that's my goal in the Americas this season, try to get to top 20, top 10. So now that we got our Smurf 2 Masters, we're going to go back to our main account to try to grind out some games. But enough about that. As always, if you like the video, actually, wait, I messed up, guys. Oh, man. Mulligan tips, right? I was about to close out the video already. In terms of Mulligan, I really like keeping Aphelios. Aphelios gets you a lot of value. I really like keeping... I keep the Dustbringer if I really have Aphelios in my hand, or if I keep the Host instead, because the Host can start getting the Hallow buff, start early in the field, and it can be a good blocker into most of the things in the meta. The rest is going to be matchup dependent, right? So I like keeping Battle Feast against Monkeys, against Kai'Sa, because I can hit the Valor. I like keeping Hush as well, depending on if I need to deal with something with Hush. And Solari Priestess tends to be a good keep in most cases. So you really want to start out with your early units anyways. You always want to keep Vengeance against Kai'Sa because you want to be able to use Vengeance like Kai'Sa right away. Withering Well against Monkeys, for example. That's what I like about this deck, right? It's very flexible in terms of your mulligan and what you can and cannot do. What you can and what you have available to do for yourself. So it's very matchup dependent. You know, Mountain Goat is a great unit to keep early. Phantom Bull is a great unit to keep early. Just kind of see who you're going against, what matchup needs, and kind of go from there. I know it's not very helpful, but it's really the honesty of this deck. This deck is very, very flexible and very, very, very hard to play. There's a lot of decision makings that you have to do, whether it's from the moon weapons from Aphelios or when you can use your trifecta and then what to pick from your invoke card. So even I, as you saw, mess up a lot. And WhatAmI told us himself that a lot of times he sometimes messes up with this deck. It's just a hard deck, right? Target decks are like that. So anyways, enough about that. I hope you enjoyed the games. As always, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. You can also find us on Twitch at Sirturmund. We stream 3 to 4 times a week. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again tomorrow.